Hey everyone, it's Miss Schleiss, and I'm going to briefly go over the reading a food label assignment that you're going to be doing. So the first thing that you need to do is find something in your refrigerator or your pantry that you like to eat that has a food label. It really can be anything, a snack or something you like to eat as a meal. It's easier if it's just one thing though to kind of, with that food label, to look at it. Once you've gathered that, you are going to want to go through this article, and if you think you can manage this without me going through it, you can feel free to, but this is looking at how we understand a food label, and each of these, number one, shows you where you're going to find the servings. Number two here is going to talk about the calories, and it shows you where you find calories. Number three, this is the ingredients or new things that you want to limit in your diet in that number 3 section. And number 4 are the key nutrients, things that are good for you that you need to be consuming to get those beneficial nutrients. And then number 5, and the food label just talks about percent daily value. And this is based on a 2,000 calorie diet. So think back to the metabolism activity that you just did. And were you consuming, should you be consuming based on your activity level more than 2,000 calories or less than 2,000 or right about at 2,000? If you should be consuming more than 2,000, then these are actually going to be a little bit lower numbers for you in your percent. And if you should be consuming less than 2,000 calories, well, then these numbers would actually be higher for you, the percent daily values for you, but they're just basing on an average 2,000 calorie diet. So once you've gone through that and you've got your food label, I'm going to pull up. This is the worksheet reading a food label, and since I can't show you something from my pantry, I found biscuit quick, so some pancake mix that maybe we'd like to eat on the weekend. So what I would like you to do, if you're going to type into this worksheet, you're going to type your product name here, and then just, if you can, include a quick little picture, or you can put that as a second thing uploading when you either upload this worksheet or upload a picture of your handwritten work like you can always do. So just go through this quickly here. You want to start with looking at those numbers of servings in a container. So this is servings per container is about 28. So here I would type in 28. The serving size is, well, what would be considered a serving? That would be 1/3 of a cup. And you can see that there's about 28 servings per container. All right, so this is, would you typically eat the entire package in one sitting or over multiple sittings? Well, this is, depends on what you're looking at here. For me, of course, I'm not going to eat about 28 pancakes. I would, be sharing it with my family if we made the whole box, or we wouldn't even make the whole box at one time. So we would eat it over multiple sittings. All right. Okay, now we're going to look at the next part is our calories. How many calories are in one serving of food? So this is amount per serving. So in one serving, we'd have 160 calories. So we're going to put that in there. And that there are how many calories from fat. It usually tells you that right underneath it now on the food labels. So there are 50 calories are coming from fat. If it doesn't tell you that, you would basically, you're taking your 5 grams of fat times 9, which is 45. They've got it a little bit different here, but it's usually about by times 9. But this also could have been a little bit more than 5. All right, and so if I was to consume the entire package in one serving, how many calories would I consume? Well, there's 28 in this package, so I'm going to need to take out my calculator for me because there are my calculator here. There are 160 calories in one serving, but we multiply that times 28 because there's 28. That means I'd be consuming 4,480 calories if I consumed this entire box. Now I'm not going to do that with pancakes obviously, but maybe looking at a bag of chips or a box of macaroni and cheese that has, maybe 3 or 4 servings in it. Now you're multiplying that out. If you were eating that an entire serving, now how many calories and how many grams of fat are you consuming? All right, so the next thing you're going to look at is your the nutrients that you want to limit here, like fat, especially saturated fat and trans fat, cholesterol, the added sugars, and the sodium. So if you want it to be healthy, and if we're trying to limit something, we want it to be 5% or less of our daily value. So here we're going to write our daily values. We're going to use this percent. We're based on a 2,000 calorie diet. So it might be a little bit different for you, technically, but this is an easy way to add it up. So if in one serving, I'm going to get about 8% of the fat I should have in one day if I have a 2,000 calorie diet. My saturated fat is at 7%. Let's see where I'm getting these from. Trans fat, it does not give me a percent here because you should not be getting any trans fat in your diet, but there's actually in this one 1.5 grams. So since there's no percent, you can just write that in. And then cholesterol, we've got 0 cholesterol, so that's good. Added sugars. So this one doesn't tell me added sugars. This looks like it's a little bit of an older box. I believe they have to have added sugars on here now. And even just say 0, and then that will give you a percent. This does not say, because sugars never say. The added sugars are now saying that's something fairly new. So if you've got that, put that, and then sodium at 20%. Okay. All right, so again, is this going to be healthy for me? Well, there's only one thing that was under that 5%, so we're going to keep that in mind. And then we're going to look at the beneficial nutrients here. So dietary fiber, fiber here is at 4% because it is a carb, but it's good for us. And we're going to look at our iron at 6%. We'd be putting all these in. If there's vitamin D, you could put 0 if there's none. So it's not giving us vitamin D. So then you would just put 0 in there for that. Our calcium's at 4%, and vitamin A is not on here, and vitamin C. So you put those as 0. All right, the last thing I want to go over real quick is the ingredient list. So let's see here, let this just scroll up. All right, next we're going to look at the ingredient list. So you want to look here, and it tells you that ingredients are listed in order by weight from most to least. So which ingredient is present in the largest amount? That would be your first ingredient. So in this one, it might be water because there could be a lot of water added to something. But this one is enriched wheat flour, bleached. So that's not going to be whole grain. So that's not going to be really something that we want to be consuming. We should be looking for that whole grain. It would say whole grain as the first ingredient if it was going to be one of those good complex carbs for us to be eating. This partially hydrogenated soybean or cottonseed oil, that's where that trans fat is coming from. So it did tell us there was trans fat in there. You may have this even if it doesn't say trans fat. That just means it's a really small amount. But and then it goes, that means the least by weight product in this would be salt. All right, and so we're going to continue looking for the sugars. So any added sugars are going to be in here. It comes, obviously, if it says sugar, that's going to be a sugar. You would write that. But any words ending in OSE, like fructose, or anything with syrup, like corn syrup, maple syrup, high fructose corn syrup, all those are sugars. So you want to list any sugars. So again, scrolling through here, that is an oil. We got leveling baking soda. And so the only one that we got here is this dextrose. And if you look back here, there was only 1 gram of sugar that wasn't added in there. So that's where that's coming from. So that is a sugar. All right, and then the last thing you're looking at, just overall, either on the front of the box or the back, do they make any health claims? Are they trying to tell you that this is healthy? And that doesn't usually mean that it is healthy, but it might say no gluten, no trans fat, made with whole grains. Those would all be nutritional or health claims. Again, sometimes it's just to get your attention on the front of the box, and then the back, you'll see that it might not be so healthy when you actually read these ingredients and the nutritional labeling. But so you're going to look on the box there, and mine does not make any, so I'm just going to say no. And then the wrap up. So now I'm going to analyze my product. Everything I wrote down, do I think this is healthy or not? Give 5 reasons why yes, or 5 reasons why no, it's not healthy. And so I'm not going to sit here and type all that out for you, but basically I'm going to look up here. It does have 160 calories, which is a little bit more than the moderate range. About 100 is a moderate for a serving. About 400 would be considered high. So it's got kind of a high calories. It's not low in any of the things that it should be low in, like except for cholesterol. So it's not low in sodium or low in fat. It also has trans fat, so that makes it bad right there as a trans fat. It doesn't really have any vitamins, and then nothing over 20% for the good stuff. So that would be another reason. It's not made with whole wheat. It does have added sugar. So those are all a bunch of reasons why I would say this is not a good product. And so if it's not healthy, what else could you substitute for this product to eat healthier? Obviously, we want to look for something kind of similar because that's what you'd wanted to eat. So I might research, or if I don't know, maybe look up a whole wheat type pancake that does not have any added sugar, and put that in there. So a whole wheat pancake with no added sugar would be something, or maybe something else altogether that we would want to try to eat instead of eating these pancakes. So you would do that for your product. So mine is not healthy, so I would need to say if it is healthy, then you don't need to put anything on here. If you've been able to get 5 reasons why it's healthy, then you can kind of just put NA here. I don't need to answer that. All right, so when you're done, you're going to upload this to the assignment on Edsby along with your picture of your product so I can see that. Or if you can also upload the picture of your handwritten worksheet if you did that. And let me know if you have any questions. Hopefully you learned something about how to kind of look at a food label and determine if the product is healthy for you to eat or not. All right, have a good day. Bye-bye.